Hello and good evening. It's me again. Sorry, it's a little bit dark because obviously it's the first video that I've recorded at night. Well, in the evening when it's dark and it's winter now, so it's going to get dark a lot sooner. So this video might look a little bit spooky, so, you know, don't let your kids watch this. Well, it's Halloween, so it's keeping up with the setting. But anyway, yeah. How's everyone doing today? I hope you've all had a good day at work or whatever you have been doing today. Just in a quick preview of Arsenal in the Champions League tonight. We are playing Sevilla and we are playing them away. It is our third match. Yes, our third match in this Champions League campaign. Obviously, we haven't been in the Champions League for 7 years prior to this. And yeah, Arsenal fans are still on cloud nine. We're still enjoying the experience of being in the Champions League after 7 forgetful years in the Europa League. See, I'm going to touch on that quickly, yeah? Because I think as Arsenal fans as a whole, and I've said this a lot of times to my friends when we're just talking about football. Like, I'm annoyed that Arsenal have never took the Europa League seriously. I don't think in the 7 years in the 7 seasons or so we was in the Europa League, we've only managed to reach the final once and reach the semi-finals twice. I think a club of Arsenal stature should have more European trophies. Yes, we won the Cup Winners' Cup in '94, but I'm sorry, I don't think our record in Europe over the years has been great. Now, this is a mitigating circumstance, and I've always stressed this. Between 1985 and 1990, English clubs were banned from the Champions League. And in that period of time, where English clubs were banned from the European Cup or Europe or Europe as a whole, we actually won the league twice, if I'm not mistaken. Or between 85 and 91, we won the league twice. So that would have been 2 European Cup campaigns we would have been in. And back then, if we had a title-winning squad, there was every chance we could have won the European Cup in the era. But because English teams were banned from the European Cup because of what happened in Heysel, when I think it was when Liverpool played Juventus and 39 Juventus fans died in a tragedy that's quite similar to Hillsborough, frankly. But yeah, if there wasn't that period where English clubs weren't allowed to play in Europe, then I think we probably would have had a Champions League trophy in our cabinet. But hey, it is what it is. I guess to make up for that, we've won 13 league titles and a billion FA Cups, so can't really complain, can we? But yeah, no, I wish that we I wish that we had a better record in Europe personally, and that is why I feel that we should have taken the Europa League a lot more seriously, because I kind of feel like as a club we kind of turned our nose up at the Europa League. And I know the fans did, because I've been guilty of it myself. We kind of treated that competition with contempt. I mean, even when we're there, when we're hearing the Europa League music, I don't know if you... I mean, yeah, you haven't... It's nothing like the Champions League music at all, man. I mean, when you hear the music, the fans just kind of like snigger to themselves and kind of... We're all just kind of looking around and saying, I can't believe we're here for another season. I know I definitely felt that last year. Yeah, but that's the general attitude that Arsenal have towards Europa League. And I feel like because of that attitude, we never took it seriously. And I think when it boils down to it, that's kind of the I personally think that's the reason why we never succeeded in the Europa League. And when I think we had squads enough that was good enough to probably win a couple of Europa Leagues in all those years that we was in that competition. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. I mean, Emery got us the closest to the Champions League, to the winning the Europa League than any other manager did, because he was kind of a specialist, and not even he could win it with us. So yeah, I just feel he probably thought we didn't, as a club, we didn't take the Europa League we didn't treat the Europa League with the amount of respect that it should have been treated with. So yeah, it is what it is. I believe we're going to do well in the Champions League this year. So anyway, getting onto that. The starting 11 that I would like to see, this is a must win, because I think if we drop points today, I still think we'll qualify, but it'll be an almighty struggle. That I don't think we can afford to lose. I think if we lose today, that's going to be really, really concerning, because we'd only have 4 games to rectify it. So we have to win our next 4 games if we lose today. But I don't think we'll lose today. Well, I hope not. But yeah, it's a must-win game. We should not have lost to Lens, to be fair. I feel like Arsenal are the best team in the group by some distance. The Lens result was a bad result. No matter where you look, no matter which way you look at it, I feel like we kind of underestimated them a little bit, if we're being frank. And it wasn't a great performance. I mean, we started relatively. I mean, they started quicker than us, and then we got that goal, which was a great finish by Jesus. Kind of against the run of play. Then we kind of settled down a little bit. Then we started taking over, building a bit of control in the game. Started moving the ball a bit better, defending okay, and we genuinely looked okay and quite comfortable until Lonsman has scored that worldie of an equaliser, and I feel that kind of rattled us, and I don't think we recovered after that. I think it kind of shocked us so much. We kind of lost our way a little bit, and then they ended up getting another wonder goal in the second half, and yeah, and then she wrote, whatever the saying is. But I expect us to get a result, because I don't think Sevilla have been great this year. I think they languish somewhere mid-table in La Liga. We actually beat them pre-season game. I know this doesn't mean much, but the last time we did play them, we actually beat them 6-0 in the pre-season friendly, and that was kind of the start when everyone. That was the start when all the fans kind of started realizing that this team could possibly go places, and this team is kind of special. Because I remember there was a clip on Twitter, I think, or YouTube, or YouTube Shorts, or one of them reels or something like that, and it was showing like a lineup. No, it was showing the starting lineup of all the players, and then you're seeing like Ramsdale, you're seeing Ben White, seeing Gabriel, Saliba, Thomas Partey, Odegaard, and Saka, Martinelli, and you just saw, and Jesus and Zinchenko, and it was going down the line of players as it was getting ready for kickoff, and you just noticed that the quality was different from the previous season. And I think that for me personally is when I started realising that this is actually a good team, and this is a team that can definitely qualify for the Champions League. I didn't think we were going to challenge for the title, but I knew we would have been up there. So, and yeah, and here we are, back in the Champions League, just like I predicted by looking at that team. Oh, sorry, let me get that. The light's gone off. I was in my car quickly. Let's deal with that. Sorry about that, people. Yeah, the lineup I would like to see today, I would like to see Ramsdale starting goal. I don't think, I'm hearing today that he's not going to start in goal. I'm hearing it's going to be David Raya. And about that, if David Raya starts, for me, that will kind of confirm that Arteta was just full of shit when he was giving it all the spiel about having 2 number ones and rotating the keepers and subbing the keepers mid-game. And if Raya starts tonight, he's clearly not going to do that. Because if Raya starts tonight, then it'll be a case where Aaron Ramsdale was dropped for a lot less. I mean, we've watched 2, and listen, I'm not digging out Raya. I do rate him as a keeper. I do like he's at the club, but I haven't seen Ramsdale make the mistakes that he has made so far. I haven't seen Ramsdale give us as many nervy moments in a game as Raya's given us in like 3 games. If you want to include the Man City game, the Chelsea game. Well, 2 games really, because I don't think there's any other game where he's really been that shaky. I mean, in the Tottenham game, people were debating if he was at fault for, I think it was Son's goal. Yeah, Son's goal, but that's so marginal. I'm not even really. There's no point even really making the point out of that. But yeah, I just feel like Ramsdale's gotten dropped for a lot. He's had David Raya's put in worst performances that I've ever seen from Ramsdale personally. That's just me. I don't know. The Southampton game from last season where Ramsdale did have a bit of a nightmare where he gave away the ball after 9 seconds. And they wouldn't have scored. That might be competing with as bad a performance as Reyes was on Sunday. But then if you think about that, Reyes did nearly the same thing when he gave the ball to Cole Palmer. So it's like, yeah, I just feel like it's a bit unfair on Ramsdale. It's a bit shitty. And if Arteta is a man of his word, he'd actually drop Raya and bring Ramsdale back. And unless Ramsdale's going to be playing in the Premier League game against Sheffield United, which would make sense, as that's Ramsdale's former team. So obviously he's going to be up for that game. But personally, I don't think he will. I just feel like I could see Ramsdale leaving. I'm hearing that Chelsea I've been linked to him today. And if you're Ramsdale, you would probably be considering it. In all truthfulness, because really and truly he's been dropped and replaced for pretty much no reason by a guy who I don't think who's even better than him. I mean, let's have it right. I know Raya's our keeper, and I shouldn't really refer to him as a guy, but at the end of the day, he's coming from Brentford, taking Ramsdale's spot, really based off nothing. Had a couple of dodgy performances, and then I'm hearing he's going to be starting against Sevilla tonight in the Champions. The whole thing just stinks, man. It really does. I don't like it. Like, but even if it ends up being a success, and we end up winning trophies or whatnot, and he ends up just being the bona fide number one, and then we've lifted the Champions League or we've lifted the Premier League. Even if we do that, I don't like the way things have transpired, and I don't really like the way Arteta's gone about it. Really, this wasn't even supposed to be an Arteta, Aaron Ramsdale, David Raya rant. It's just that it's something that's really relevant in this game, because you're thinking, all right, David Raya's done this. He's made this mistake in an area where he was supposed to be, which is what we brought him in for, which is distribution. But I looked at his distribution on Saturday, and like, I've never seen Ramsdale do some of the things that he's done with the ball, like, ever. Like, in those first 20 minutes against City, I've never seen... Aaron Ramsdale's never given me palpitations like that. I mean, in the throughout the whole Chelsea game, I've never felt with Ramsdale the way I felt with Raya the other day. And I don't mean to... I don't want to make it sound like I'm bashing Raya and digging him out, but Arteta set this precedence, and and obviously, so... he's going to have to accept the fact that fans are going to question Raya now. And this is another thing. I don't think it's fair on Raya, because I don't think it's doing him any favours, because he's joined the club under increased pressure. And you can see that the pressure is affecting him. You can see he's not used to it. It's like what I said in my video the other day. The pressure from Brentford is different from the pressure when you're at Arsenal Football Club. It's doing him no favours. It's intensifying the scrutiny on him. And there's going to be fans out there, because Ramsdale did build a rapport with a lot of fans. So there are fans out there that are waiting for Raya to fail, so Ramsdale can get between the sticks. Listen, if Ramsdale ends up leaving for Chelsea, he's going to be a success, and he's going to make him stronger, because he's a fantastic keeper. And the fans are not going to be happy with Mikel Arteta. Like, he's making decisions that's really going to divide the fan base, I think, man. I feel like this whole goalkeeper situation is a fucking joke. It is. Like, I don't know why he's done this. He's just made things complicated for no reason. Like, I don't think any keeper's going to benefit from this. So I think if anything's going to mess up our season, it's going to be this situation. It's going to come back to bite us. So I guarantee... Well, I don't want to guarantee it, because I don't want it to happen, but I don't want to be right in this situation. But anyway, enough of that rant about the keepers. I think I've spoken about it enough. In defence, what I want to see, I think Zinchenko needs to come out for a little bit. I think defensively he's become really, really, really suspect, man. I mean, we all know what Zinchenko's strengths are. It's getting on the ball, it's linking up play, it's playing that inverted role, it's passing range, it's just overall technique. It's very key to the way we play. And he's actually very key to the Arsenal being in a much improved side over this past year since he's been here. But when he's not on his game in that sense, because he's already not the strongest defensively, it's like a match made in hell. Like he ends up having a terrible performance because he's already not the strongest defensively. So if he's not excelling in his usual game when he's on the ball and when he's attacking, or when he's playing that midfield inverted role, I mean, it becomes a nightmare because he becomes a bit of a liability because, yeah. So I think I will take Zinchenko out and put Tomiyasu back in personally. So yeah, I'll start with left back in the middle of defence. It's fairly obvious who I'm going to say. I'm going to opt for Saliba and Gabriel. I mean, there's nothing more needed to be said. It's just that I think they're the best centre-back pair in the Premier League. Right back, I'll go with Ben White. I don't think Ben White's been that. I don't think he's had a great start to the season. There's a couple of games where I've seen him. I mean, last year I can't remember anyone roasting him or getting the better of him, but there's a couple of games this season where I've seen a few players get the beating of him, and these aren't even like your usual danger men in the Premier League. These are meaty little players who've just got a little bit of pace about them. So yeah, I'm not really, because Ben White's quite quick as well. So, and I've seen him getting done for pace, and I'm just wondering if is he another one that's could be facing a bit of burnout. But regardless of which, I think Ben White's the best option to put at right back. So yeah, I'll put him there. Going into the midfield, I would. You got to bring Partey back in at some point, man. Yeah, I'll go Partey, Rice and Odegaard. But I have a feeling Arteta's going to do Jorginho, Rice and Odegaard because he seems to like playing Jorginho in key games, and I feel like it's reached a point now. I think he's a bit ahead in the pecking order over Partey. That's how it seems to me. So I think he's going to play Jorginho in the pivot. But yeah, if it was up to me, I'd have Partey in the 6, Rice in the 8 role, and on the left hand side, I'd have Martin Odegaard doing have the free attacking role in the midfield. What else? Front three. Yeah, front three's routine. Martinelli, I think Martinelli had a good game the other day. I think he was quite busy and he's causing Chelsea a lot of. It might not have been his most effective game, but he was causing a bit of chaos whenever he had the ball. He's driving the ball forward and he was causing a bit of panic. I think, it was a decent performance. It wasn't his best performance, but I thought it was decent. I thought it was decent for Martinelli. So it'd be straightforward. Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus down the middle. Obviously Saka on the right, Jesus being down the middle, Martinelli on the left. Yeah, so I think with that start 11, but then it's all dependent on what Arsenal show up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel like the majority of the fan base is overreacting with the criticism of the way we are playing. We've still got to remember throughout this whole season in all competitions we've lost one game, and that was just the other day. We're still unbeaten in the Premier League, so everyone needs to calm down a little bit. It's not a crisis. We're doing okay. We haven't hit 5th gear yet, but we're still unbeaten, and that's a good sign. So when we do click into gear, it's going to be problems. All right, so Arsenal fans, just relax. We're going to get the win today, and I think we're going to progress to the next round in the Champions League, and we're going to take it from there. It's time we won the European Cup, man. I'm tired of my Chelsea mates, my Man United mates, my Liverpool mates. I'm tired of them using that stick to beat me with. I ain't got no Man City mates, because none of them really exist. Let's have it right. So I ain't got to worry about them. Like, City winning the treble last year meant absolutely nothing to me. Because they ain't got no fans. Hit a like, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I appreciate your support and I'll catch you later.